Donald Trump, unfortunately, don't have anything on his side to prove the whole thing is a lie. Okay, guys, today's video is going to be about Donald Trump and that woman called E.Jean Carroll, that she win and she said that Donald Trump raped her and blah, blah, blah. And the whole thing, if you analyze the whole thing is a big freaking joke. It's another example that women use men to get money. And the best example, again, is Johnny Depp. Look what happened to Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, his reputation was destroyed because of a woman. And it's the same thing with Andrew Tate. He spent 3 months in jail because of female freaking lie. Female lie. And what's going on with Donald Trump is the same bullshit. So, who is that woman, that Jean Carroll? Let's take a look at it. So, that woman, first of all, look at that. Right here. She's 79 years old. 79 years old. And I want to put you in the context how that lawsuit came up. So let's take a look. In 2019, she released a book, What Do We Need Men For? In 2019. 2019, Trump was president of the United States. Trump was president of the United States. At that time, Trump was a high status man, a millionaire, a billionaire, and he was a high status man. And again, women use the status of men to get money from them. So in that book, this is where the whole thing started. She said in that book that Trump raped her. So put it together. She's using Trump's status to sell that freaking book, to make money out of it by alleging that Trump raped her. And it's a short story. Let's take a look at that book, what she said on that book. Let's take a look right here. So in the book, she said she was shopping at the Bergdorf Goodman in New York when Mr. Trump approached her and struck a conversation. So listen to that story. She's shopping in a department store, and all of a sudden, Trump appeared out of nowhere. I want you to think about that. She's shopping, and out of nowhere, Trump appeared. Ta-da! Magic trick. Trump is there. Well, let's go back that thing. So Mr. Trump approached her and struck a conversation. He asked her for help picking up a gift for a woman. She then alleged that he took her to the lingerie section of the store and asked her to try an item for him in the dressing room before pinning her against the wall and sexually assaulting her for 3 minutes. And they said sexually assaulting her. She said the original story that he raped her. So that's what she said in her book. So Trump appeared, she's shopping somewhere, Trump appeared out of nowhere, and he raped her in a freaking dressing room in a department store somewhere. This is her freaking story. So Trump said that that thing never happened. He have no clue who this woman is. And the whole thing is a big freaking joke. In my opinion, that's a big freaking joke. And I want you to look at her. Look at her. She's 79 years old. She's 79 years old. Right here, that's it. And she said that that thing happened in 95, 96. She doesn't quite remember. So that means back in the day, she was an old bag of 52 years old. So Trump, out of nowhere, appeared, and he's so attracted to her, an old woman of 52 years old. It become very hard for her. He appeared out of nowhere in a department store and rape her for 3 minutes in a freaking dressing room somewhere. A whole bag of 52 years old. The whole story is freaking bullshit, guys. The whole story is freaking bullshit. And in 2019, she put that in the book. Trump is the president of the United States. And she used that story, that lie, to sell that book, to make money out of it. To make money out of it. And that thing happened. She never go see the cop. She never put criminal charge on him. If you think with logic and common sense, the whole thing doesn't make sense. Now Trump in 2019 is the president. She said that woman, she's fucking crazy. You have no idea who she is. And this is where the whole thing with the lawsuit starts. Okay, now I want to talk about the lawsuit that you guys understand what really is going on. The lawsuit, there's no criminal charge, okay? The lawsuit is a civil case. And in a civil case, the way that it works is if more than 50% of the people think that those events happen, you are guilty. In a civil case, that's how that thing works. In a criminal case, you have to be without a doubt that that thing really happened. It's 90 to 95% that, okay, that thing really happened, you're guilty. In a civil case, if it's more than 50% that the jury think that happened, boom, you're guilty. That's the difference between a civil case and a criminal case. So that woman, what she did right now, it's a civil case. So if more than 50% of the jury said that that happened, boom, you're guilty. So look what that woman did. Because Trump said that woman, she's a freaking nutcase. He never met her of his freaking life. She came up with a defamation lawsuit. Told her that Trump destroyed her reputation and blah, blah, blah. And she came up with that sexual assault. And if she win that case, which we all know that right now she win that case, she win $5 million. And that's what happened right now. It's a proof again that that woman used Donald Trump to get money. Woman use man to get freaking money. That's right there. That's the proof right there. Right now, she win the case and she got $5 million. And the whole thing doesn't make sense. The whole thing is a freaking lie. And despite all that, I don't know why the jury found that guilty, but she win and she got $5 million. And I want you to think about that. That thing happened in 95, 96. Back in the day, there's no cell phone. There's no video camera. And that freaking thing happened 27 years ago. So there's no freaking proof. There's no proof. And look what saved Johnny Depp from that crazy bitch. Look what saved Johnny Depp. What saved Johnny Depp was the technology of today. What saved Johnny Depp of Amber Heard was Johnny Depp record the whole freaking thing. And this is what saved Johnny Depp. Because Amber Heard back in the day, she was the face of the Me Too movement. She was the main face of the Me Too movement, saying that men are bad and blah, blah, blah. And Johnny Depp is a horrible human being. Johnny Depp bring her to court and prove that that woman, the whole thing was freaking lie. My point is the technology saved Johnny Depp because he record the whole freaking thing. In 95, 96, that's where she said that thing happened. The technology wasn't there. In 95, when I said we have beeper, I don't know, probably you guys don't remember that, but we have beeper. So Donald Trump, unfortunately, don't have anything on his side to prove the whole thing is a lie. This is his word. Again, that old bag that back in the day, 52 years old, that the whole freaking thing doesn't make sense. His word again, her word. And the whole thing, again, the Clinton choose who was the judge on that thing. And the Clinton or the swear enemy of Trump. The whole thing, man, it's a freaking lie. It's so freaking obvious to me. The whole thing is a freaking lie. And look the title of her book in 2019. Why do we need men for? This is the title of a freaking book. So guys, put it together. Put it together. The whole thing is freaking bullshit. So okay guys, now I'm gonna show you, and that thing is freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. In CNN, Trump go to CNN and he do an interview and he freaking nailed it. He freaking nailed it. I want to show what he think about that case. He's been found guilty, liable of sexual assault and all that freaking bullshit. I want to show you what Trump have to say about that. So let's get to it.
I don't know. I'd have to look at their case, but I will say in Washington, D.C., you cannot get a fair trial. You cannot. Just like in New York City, you can't get a fair trial either.
Speaking of New York, I want to ask you about a significant verdict that was reached yesterday. I know this is something you want to weigh in on as well. A Manhattan jury found that you sexually abused the writer E.Jean Carroll and defamed her. You've denied this. But what do you say to voters who say it disqualifies you from being president?
Well, there aren't too many of them because my poll numbers just came out. They went up. Okay. I think I'm the only person in history who had a charge like that. And usually you leave office, you say, I'm sorry, but I'm going to back home. I'm back home to my family and everything. I'm going to be resigned. My poll numbers went up, and they went up with the other fake charge, too. Because what's happening is they're doing this for election interference. This woman, I don't know her. I never met her. I have no idea who she is. I had a picture taken years ago with her and her husband, nice guy, John Johnson. He was a newscaster, very nice man. She called him an ape. Happens to be African American. Called him an ape. The judge wouldn't allow us to put that in. Her dog or her cat was named Vagina. The judge wouldn't allow to put that in. All of these things. But with her, they can put in anything. Access, Hollywood.
This was a jury of 9 people who found you liable of sexual abuse. Do you think that will deter women from voting for you?
No, I don't think so, because I think the whole thing, just so you understand, ready? I never met this woman. I never saw this woman. This woman said, I met her at the front door of Bergdorf Goodman, which I rarely go into other than for a couple of charities. I met her in the front door. She was about 60 years old, and this is like 22, 23 years ago. I met her in the front door of Bergdorf Goodman. I was immediately attracted to her, and she was immediately attracted to me. And we had this great chemistry. We're walking into a crowded department store. We had this great chemistry, and a few minutes later, we end up in a room, a dressing room, of Bergdorf Goodman, right near the cash register. And then she found out there were locks on the door. So she said, I found one that was open. She found one. She learned this at trial. She found one that was open. What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes, you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, okay? I don't know if she was married then or not. John Johnson, I feel sorry for you, John Johnson.
Mr. President, can I?
No, but think of it. Think of it.
I know you're recounting what she said, but Mr. President.
Let me just, if I could, because you asked the question.
This was a
just so
jury,
you understand,
though.
if I was walking in at the because I was very famous then, and I owned the Plaza Hotel right next door, and I owned buildings around it, I'm not going into a dressing room of a crowded department store. Then I say, if she was being raped, and by the way, they said she wasn't raped. Okay, that was her charge. It wasn't.
They found that you sexually abused her.
No, what? Say what? They did. They said he didn't rape her. And
They did
I
not
didn't
say
do
he
anything else either. You know what? Because I have no idea who the hell she is.
But Mr.
I don't know who
President,
this woman
can I
is.
ask you, given your recounting
I
your
don't know
version?
who, and I tell you this.
But Mr.
Are
President,
you ready?
can I
And I
can I
swear
ask
on
you
my
because-
children, which I'd never do. I have no idea who this woman. This is a fake story, made up story. We had a horrible Clinton-appointed judge. He was horrible. He allowed her to put everything in. He allowed us to put nothing in.
Mr. President,
this is a
you're
fake
recounting your version
story.
of events here right now to the audience. You referenced the trial. You did not go to the trial and actually
That's right.
testify. Do you wish that you had
No,
testified?
it wouldn't have made a difference. This was a rigged deal. My lawyer said, sir, you don't have to do it. I actually said, I think I should. It would be respectful. They said, sir, don't do it. This is a fake story, and you don't want to give it credibility. That's why I didn't go.
One thing you did do in this.
And I swear, and I've never done that, and I swear to, I have no idea who the hell, she's a
Mr.
whack
President,
job.
you did not testify in person in this trial. There was a tape deposition of you from October in it. You defended the comments that you made on that Access Hollywood tape.
So that's it, boys. Here we go. The whole thing is freaking bullshit. It's so freaking obvious. So obvious. This is total bullshit. She's doing that bullshit for the freaking money. It's so obvious. And this is, unfortunately, women like her destroy the reputation of good women out there. Because I believe there's good women out there. I don't believe the whole woman was a freaking nutcase like her. But women like that, they exist and they do that kind of bullshit. And boys, be freaking careful to be able to identify those freaking whack job. And unfortunately, I repeat again, those women destroy the reputation of other good women. Women do that kind of shit to get money out of a man. To get freaking money out of a man. And when I speak about the software of a woman to get resources from a man, this is the freaking software. Another example right freaking there. Another example right freaking there. If you use larger income and sense, that freaking thing, total bullshit. Okay, boys, I'm going to leave it at that. That's a pretty long video. I've been yapping for a while. Like, share, subscribe, and boys, we see you on the next one. Trump 2024. I hope he wins. Thanks, guys.